All right, everybody, welcome. Who is ready for the Southwest Regional Quick Pitch 2025? Me too. I heard a lot of comments in here today, and as well as my own comments. This is one of my most favorite events for the year. It's like a Shark Tank. If you've not been here before, it is very much like a Shark Tank event. And then the winner gets to go on to a world tour opportunity for what, $1 million? Or how many zeros were on that $1 million? $1 million. Thank you, Scott. I want to say thank you to our judges and introduce them. First of all, as he takes a big bite of food, unfortunately, Mayor DiFilippo is very ill, so she sends her regrets from the city of Wildomar. She was not able to be here today. But Joseph Moore, our council member, stepped in at the last second. Thank you so much, Joseph. I love when our council can be flexible and fill in for each other. That really helps us out a lot. Thank you. And we have Mayor Cindy Warren from the City of Murrieta. Councilmember Ben Diedrich from the City of Menifee. And last but certainly not least, Stewart from the city. Councilmember from the City of Temecula. Thank you. Colton, who is last year's winner, also sends his regrets. He had some sort of dental emergency today, so we definitely send our thoughts to him as he's probably sitting in a not so comfortable chair right now, not having any fun. So we also want to thank our sponsors, BBSI, US Bank, and most of all, DIY Divorce with Kristen Harrison, who's going to come up here and give us a quick pitch for her business. And without these sponsors, we could not make this happen. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kristen Harrison. I run DIY Divorce. I am cheaper than a hitman. Some people have heard that tagline before. For especially the young people, I am not an attorney. I am a family law mediator. I am in my 13th year running divorces. And it is honestly the best decision I ever made. I'll start to get emotional. To run my own business. I am my own boss. I have 0 staff. I like it that way. I wish you all the best of luck. Being in business is a fabulous journey.
Thank you once again to our sponsors. I also wanted to point out that one thing that you might not know about our region is our cities collaborate very, very well together. We all know each other. We all like each other most of the time, right, Scott? But in your program, it does list everybody, but I just kind of wanted to go through the room. I'll just do the directors. We have Scott Agajanian, who's the Director of Economic Development for the City of Murrieta. Kayla Charters, who's Economic Development for the City of Menifee. Mary Cervantes, who's in charge of the TVE2, which is the Temecula Innovation Center. Christine Gamco, Economic Development for the City of Temecula. Who am I missing? Gina Gonzalez, who's Economic Development for Lake Elsinore. And a lot of them have brought their teams here with them today too, so I really appreciate all of the extra help. And I'm Kimberly Davidson. I am the Economic Development Director for the City of Wildomar. And welcome to Wildomar. If you don't know where Wildomar is, you're in it. So thank you for being here today. We love when people come to visit us, and especially at the beautiful corporate room. We love hosting people here. So hold on, let me put my eyeballs on. So, we also have students here from Murrieta Valley High School's virtual enterprise class. Raise your hand, guys, back there. This is a class where students create a company and a product and then compete against other virtual enterprise students across the nation. The team from Murrieta always does very well in the competitions under the guidance of Mr. Fox Legica. Raise your hand, Mr. Fox. His team is going to show you their presentation skills and their virtual enterprise product while the judges are deliberating later on. So while the judges are back there deliberating, we'll get to hear from the students, and they have an awesome product that they're going to share with you. So, okay. Our entrepreneurs have put together some phenomenal presentations for you today, and they only have 5 minutes. You got a clock there. Judges, there's the clock. Presenters, there's the clock. Patrick, do you have a bell or a hook or a hammer? Now, guys, it's really not only because we're on a tight schedule, but because in the professional world, as in from the meeting most of us just came from, it is imperative that you stay on time and on track. It's respectful to the other presenters, it's respectful to your audience, it's respectful to the judges. So please make sure you're paying attention to Patrick up here and stay within that 5-minute time frame. Then there's going to be 3 minutes for Q&A after each presentation. As you can see, you have agendas on your table. We're on a very tight time schedule here. So we're going to be going in alphabetical order. So without further ado, I am going to bring up Carolina Advocate Group.
Thank you. All right, ready, set, go. Hi, my name is Lynn Beagle. I'm with Carolina Advocate Group. I'm going to start with my mission statement. Our mission is to provide compassion and support to individuals in crisis, offering guidance and assistance with integrity and care. We are committed to serving those in need, helping them navigate challenges with dignity and hope. About us, Carolina Advocate Group was founded in 2020 out of necessity. A family crisis brought the advocates among us together as we rallied around our sister's stage 4 brain cancer diagnosis. 5 years later, her husband was diagnosed with terminal throat cancer. Standing beside them during this unimaginable time provided not only unwavering support and comfort, but also crucial assistance in getting their affairs in order. Managing treatment schedules, bills, insurance, wills, and everyday responsibilities, I'm going to keep talking, became quickly overwhelming, far beyond what any one person could or should ever have to go through. Okay. As a united team, we were able to step in, sharing the load with compassion and empathy. From handling logistics to simply being present, we ensured they were not alone in their fight. My brother, who's a CFO to a hospital, was able to get my sister into Duke Medical Center and was able to advocate for her and get her an appointment with a neurosurgeon who was able to remove both tumors and save her life. Imagine the story, your wife, 34 years, falls ill after dinner, you take her to the emergency room, after a series of tests, she's had a heart attack, they put you in a room down the hall, a doctor comes in a little while later, your wife has passed away, or your husband has passed away, and you're alone. Carolina Advocate Group not only assists widows and widowers, but we come alongside anyone in crisis. It could be an accident, it could be an illness, it could be a disability. We assist with administrative tasks that are necessary. Back to the story, as you leave the ER, you realize it's the first time you're going home without her or him. Okay, there's so much to do, it's overwhelming. All the planning, the funeral, the bills. He paid them, she paid them. Now you have to pay them, and you don't know how. Many people go through these scenarios alone. When my sister's husband died, she had 3 adult children. None of them could come alongside her and help her. Carolina Advocate Group did. And I spent 6 weeks with my sister doing the necessary paperwork, transferring accounts, driving her to the mortuary, filling out the mortuary paperwork. The truth is, without an advocate helping people reorganize their life and affairs, some people are never fully able to process the grief. Having an advocate in your corner can not only help you to grieve, but help you pick up the pieces. Having someone there who is compassionate, willing to listen and understand can bring a world of difference to anyone suffering a loss, or anyone in crisis, or anyone who is just overwhelmed. This is a short list of services that we provide: making phone calls, sending out emails, scanning documents, canceling subscription from a loved one who has passed away, credit card cancellations, personal accounts, name change on accounts. I had to take my sister to the cable company. They couldn't just do it over the phone. She had to go and create a new account. I got to go with her. I got to be her voice. I got to be her advocate and speak when she could not. Carolina Advocate Group comes alongside people and speaks for them when they cannot and supports them when they are not able. Thank you. The judges, the people. 3 minutes, yes.
What is your funding resource?
My funding.
Your funding resource.
Personal. My husband and I own our own business, so our income right now.
How do you plan on getting outside additional funding for your business?
Talking to people and charging for my services.
So that's what I had down here. How much does that 6 weeks cost?
Approximately, it was $5,000. And you know what? By the grace of God, she gifted me her husband's car that she didn't want. So it worked out. Obviously, I wouldn't charge my sister.
So how do they find you?
Very good, yeah. You know what? I have joined a couple networking groups and getting the word out to people. You know, Professional Women's Roundtable I'm part of, and HeartLink I'm part of, and considering, you know, it's really talking to people. What I have found is me just putting out flyers or something like that, people aren't going to trust somebody they haven't met and who they don't know. So I need to be out in the community like I am today. So anyone who's overwhelmed, you know, that's how.
So how much time do you actually spend with a person daily? What's that look like?
So
What's the routine?
I had one case that I just helped a gentleman who's on hospice, and I went to his home, and my travel time and my time at his home, and I signed him up for disability, and it was 2 hours. So, you know, sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 2 hours. It's usually just little tasks at this point.
How many people have you helped so far, and is there a team or is it solely you?
Well, it is me here in California doing it. The name is because the group is in the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, which are my siblings, who are a plethora of information and resources for me. If I need information, they're the ones I go to. So it's me, and then what was your other question?
How many people have you helped? So
Oh, how many people have I helped? Probably around 5 to 6 at this point, just getting started. Yes. Is that it? Okay.
All right.
Awesome, thank you.
I failed to mention Patrick. Patrick is the president and CEO also of the Murrieta Innovation Center, manages the Murrieta Innovation Center. I was part of the original team in 2011 that got that innovation center set up, so my apologies for forgetting to even mention that. Sometimes it's the person right under your nose that you forget to introduce, so thank you, Patrick, for being here. We now have a new microphone, and we're going to call up Ceylone, aka Star Steps.
Hello, everybody. We are Team Ceylone. So we are here for the second time, and we are here to present our product, Star Steps. So we made a parenting app inspired by our beloved, amazing 10-year-old daughter.
How are you achieving daughter?
Yeah, so we are here to talk to you about our parenting app. In a nutshell, it's a private LinkedIn for kids. So here we are, Team Ceylone, and I'm Sumali.
And what matter?
So we are the co-founders of this product. And so as I told you, it's Star Steps. It's a mobile application for parents to use, log in their kids' achievements and then cherish, and then also understand how else they can help their kids. So it's live on App Store and Google Play. And without just blabbering here, we have made a nice video so you can just watch it and understand the product, what it exactly is offering to you.
Every child's journey is filled with bright moments, moments of triumph, learning, and joy. But in the busy whirl of daily life, parents can easily miss these precious milestones. Introducing Star Steps, the app made for parents who cherish every step of their parenting journey. With Star Steps, keeping track of your child's path has never been easier. Whether it's a new skill, a new passion, or a new award, log it all in one place. Not just a digital diary, Star Steps actively helps you nurture your child's development. Based on the accomplishments you log, the app seamlessly suggests activities that could improve your child's skill set, all personalized to their interests and age. And with Star Steps, celebrating these achievements is a family affair. Using view-only profiles, share your child's journey with loved ones, all under your supervision. Keep the family connected and let every milestone be a shared joy. From local science fairs to music recitals, Star Steps ensures you're always in the loop with events that match your child's passions. Stay connected, stay informed, and never miss an opportunity to encourage their growth. Star Steps, your parenting journey. Download now on the App Store or Google Play. Visit starsteps.app to learn more.
Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So, side story, we made that video. We had like zero experience in like making that, but we made it in like 1 month and a magical cost of $25. So thank you. So, all the things that you're seeing today, they were made by this highly efficient 2-member team, right? The app, we had never developed an app. We made an app in 5 months. We learned how to develop the app and then that did it. Just to tell you guys like how driven we are, right? So in terms of value proposition, I think the video self-explained most of the things that you wanted to hear, right? It was very straightforward. But obviously, it's a safe environment. We don't sell any data, and it's a closed circle, right? As you could see right in the middle, it's AI assisted. So when you're logging your activities in the app, the engine basically looks at, anonymously, it looks at like the achievements and then just gives you suggestions. It just, all the little nudge that we never had, right? Every parent is the best parent in the world. Every child is the best child, you know what I'm saying? But it always helps to get a little nudge on the back just to say, hey, you should probably try this. It doesn't hurt, try it out and see. And there were multiple occasions where we actually tried it out and then we were to move on. So progress to date. Our special achievement was September 24 last year, where we had our first unpaid subscriber. We basically like had somebody that we had no idea of, like just signing to the system. That was a special moment for us. And then slowly but surely we've been building the base. And we are at the end. Thank you.
Okay, what is your marketing strategy and what have you done so far to market your product?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So that's one of the reasons why we're here today. We are trying out so many different things to market the product. One is a social media campaign that we tried out. We have done App Store marketing, Google and Apple, YouTube marketing. Sumi is driving workshops, special sessions where we can like just invite people who would be our target audience.
And Miss Kimberly was the one who
instructor,
hosted, the consultant.
One of those sessions as well. She's organizing a stargazing party, like in one of the schools in Temecula as well, so that we can get like-minded parents to come in and then try the app. But obviously, as you can see, it's not a localized app; it's a global app. People around the world can use it.
So, what's the difference between your app and Facebook if you just keep it private amongst family and friends?
Right. Facebook does not provide the additional services that the engine is providing in terms of like giving suggestions and things like that. And this is really private, where you can actually control what you want to give. So for example, Facebook being Meta, there's always like concerns about like the privacy and things like that. So our main slogan is like, we don't sell data, we don't make money by selling data. So it's all subscription based. So it's different.
There's no charge for subscription, it's free right now?
We have an introductory option where if you sign up for the 1 year subscription, it's free. But if it is monthly, then you need to pay.
How much is your monthly subscription?
It's $2.99 per month, and then for a year, if you subscribe, it's $19.99.
And are you profitable?
Yes, as you could see, as of right now, it's still negative because our monthly charge, like the cost is like $150 for us because we maintain everything by ourselves. But that's where we want to achieve that 100 subscribers with 1,000 registrations so that we can push it.
And one last question. I see on your slide up there, trademarks file. Did you get your trademarks registered?
Yes, sir. So Star Steps is our trademark.
So I noticed two different distinctions up there. There's subscriber and registered account. What's the difference?
So you can try out the app without really subscribing to like the full-fledged services. If you just sign onto the app, you can try it out for like 3 events. So basically you can sign in and then just, oh, this is what it is. And then if you really like it, if you want to just go on board and then like add in like multiple children to the account and things like that, you can do that too. So that you need to pay.
So you considered, I've seen on other apps where there's the ads driven. So you haven't looked down.
No, we do not want to go down that path because we do not want to be associated with like Facebook and any other company. We just want to keep it pure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, the next presenter comes up, which is FollowInq. I wanted to point out that Connie Stouffer with our Economic Development Coalition of Southern California Wine Country is here. That is the EDC. They help to bring in business and jobs for the whole region. So they definitely help partner with the economic development in each of the cities and give us a broader stroke across the region. So thank you for being here, Connie. And I'm going to turn it over to FollowInq.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Fareed and I'm gonna drop the mic. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Fareed and I am the founder and CEO of FollowInq. Perception is how we see the world and perspective is how everyone else sees the world. FollowInq is trying to bridge that gap. The problem we're seeing today is that there is a historic low trust in media. 32% of Americans believe in what they see in the media and have high trust in it, which is relatively low. And media is the source of how we are going to connect on an objective reality. So how are we going to be able to fix this? We're using an artificial intelligence platform that is new. Okay, that should, yeah, okay. We're using an artificial intelligence platform that is going to be able to actually create objective news. The way we do this is by building our own LLM. Current LLMs are based off of a biased data set, and they are not trained to be relatively objective. What we are doing is we are going to go build the data set, rate it off of objectivity based off of the claims, then we are going to build the model. Off of that, we fine-tune our model. By fine-tuning our model, we're able to actually build consensus. A good example of this, which the video would have shown if there was no audio, was that basically you would actually be able to rate hundreds of different news articles that are talking about the same topic. If 1 + 1 = 2 across all of them, that becomes relatively objective. And you purge basically any excess. So you're going to have 5 left-leaning articles, 5 right-leaning articles, 5 neutral articles, and then off of that balanced data set, you're able to generate a relatively more objective article. So what we have actually looked at in our competitive landscape is there's ground news and all size. All size is using current LLM technology. And if your biased data set is already there and you have LLMs like Meta, Llama 2 or Llama 3, or basically the Gemma models from Google, the problem is that they are relatively biased. And if you're going to ask these LLMs to actually make an objective choice of what is reality essentially, it would not be able to do it properly. So our AI platform also, and compared to ground news, is on an article level. The problem with ground news is they classify off the publication level. So Fox News, all articles are right-leaning. That's not objectively true though. You have to go and do sentiment analysis on every article. So then after that, you can see everyone's perspective. This is a $500 million to $1 billion service obtainable market based off of our market research. We are planning to go through a B2B model through our Objective News platform, which is already launched. And on top of that, we want to partner with newsrooms so that they can actually use this as a tool to find leads and publish discoveries that they have found. Barriers to entry include the high compute cost, which is why we're actually trying to look for funding, and also aligning the AI properly. But by actually having the high compute cost minimized, we can actually go and train our models relatively better. On top of that, our competitive moat is based off of our proprietary algorithm. To ensure trust, we are open sourcing our model. And on top of that, we actually have AI credibility based off of the model being open sourced from the get-go. So everyone will know what's going into that model. It's not a black box. Our financial projections for 2025 to 2028 are as above. Our growth drivers are primarily institutional clients and also a freemium conversion model that is on our website. Our timeline from 2024, we came up with the idea, we built it, we actually got into Microsoft Startup Hub, Amazon AWS Activate, and on top of that, the Google Startup Hub. In 2025, we finished our MVP, and we actually just launched our seed round, and we're trying to raise $2.5 million. By 2026, we would like to release by Q1 of 2026 our objective model, and then off of that, actually be able to branch out into other markets as well. Our team, I'm a triple major from UCLA. I majored in bioengineering, neuroscience, and psychology. My co-founder, Jeff, I met on Reddit of all places. He actually talked about the age of information. He actually specializes in AI infrastructure, cybersecurity, and system architecture. And he's built the model based off of collaborating with me on basically the system architecture. We would like to raise $2.5 million, and this is so that we can actually address compute costs, administrative costs, legal costs, as you can see by this chart. Are there any questions?
All the way up. So how do you ensure objectivity in slotting stories on the political spectrum?
So based off of what we are doing, we're actually creating a political compass test. This is already standardized, and a lot of high school students use it for their AP political science course that I remember taking. But essentially what happens is that you're going to have all these articles that you're going to parse out what is quote unquote an objective fact. What happens is that people will rate those articles, and that's based off of their political bias. So if someone's on the left and someone's on the right, and they're classified as that in our database, what happens is if they rate the article as relatively objective, that will allow for consensus to happen. And we're doing this with a large sample size, so that's how we're able to scale relatively faster.
I'm going to focus on the IP side here across the board, but I saw on one of your slides that you filed provisional patents last year. Did you use an attorney, or did you prepare them yourself?
I used, because I've worked on other startups and I'm working on an adaptive e-cigarette, I know how to file my own provisional patents. But then after that, I actually am collaborating with Polygon IP to actually refine our patent to do a conversion to non-provisional.
That was going to be my next question. Do you have a plan on your non-provisional filing, which will be coming up sometime this year?
Correct, yeah.
Your marketing strategy, what is that?
Our marketing strategy is actually first by actually open sourcing the model, actually. So if you look at the meta models, all these models that are being published, like DeepSeek, for example, they're published on something called Hugging Face. We're going to open source that model. People can use it, and that's going to give us notoriety to begin with. We're going to actually, the thing that we patented is the thing on top of that open source model, which is to fine tunes and basically the more objective version of that model based off of consensus. So what we're doing is we're starting out small. We already have our website. We're testing it right now. We're actually using a heat map to determine which individuals actually are where they're clicking on the site so we can refine our UI. Off of that, we actually are going to try to launch it at UCLA and other college institutions first, because over there, they're learning about everything. If you're going to a poli-sci class, for example, you're supposed to actually see what the current state of the world is, not just what is in the textbook. So that's what we're aiming to do. And then off of that, we're also planning to launch with newsrooms. So right now, I'm trying to reach out to certain groups like the LA Times. So then after that, we can actually give them our tool so that they can use it as well, because we could give them a white label version of our API.
What has your startup cost been to date, and how much do you need to go further in your program?
Our startup cost to date has been about $10,000, and that's mainly in compute costs and electrical costs. Off of that, we need about 2.5 million to actually train our model. The reason is because computational costs. We are trying to compete with a big tech company, well, multiple big tech companies. As a result, what we are doing, we actually downsized our model. So it's relatively faster and more efficient. So then after that, it's not as computationally intensive. Does that, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Steve.
I know, it's exciting. We have 10 entrepreneurs today. This is our largest one ever, right, guys? I mean, I think last year we had 6 presenters, and we thought that was our largest one. So keep it coming, and if we get more next year, we might just have to do a 3-hour-long program, and we'll serve more coffee and cookies on the 3rd hour. But next we have coming up Grim on the Rim.
So Grim on the Rim is the next big thing in Halloween toys. He will be comparable to what we have currently, which is Elf on the Shelf, but for a Halloween version. My name is Kimber. I've been a 25-year Temecula resident. I've been a 45-year Riverside County resident. I'm a toy creator. This is my 2nd toy that I've created. I'm a mom and an entrepreneur. Grim was inspired by the traditional idea of play with Elf on the Shelf, but without the guilt and the hands-off mentality that the toy Elf on the Shelf has. Grim is a Halloween toy and book combo. The book is currently ISBN and it's already been in print. I've created 20 prototypes that have already been sent out to parents and families so that the kids can interact with it and see, like, you know, if it's something that they want to play with or something that they want to be a part of. It's designed for kids 3 through 13, and it fosters creativity, trust, and curiosity. The toy industry is booming. When Elf on the Shelf started, they started at 5,000 units. It was self-produced, self-made, and they're currently in the 1 million or 100 million revenue in 2021. Minch on the Bench was another example. Currently, they're at 250,000 units, and that was of 2023. And I did my research last night. At 2025, they're currently in the 750,000 units sold. Globally, the population of children aged 3 through 13 is 25%. So we're looking at a 25% population of children who would be interested in this toy. The toy provides a screen-free, educational, and sustainable toy. And Grim checks the box on everything that parents are looking for in a holiday toy. The current combo comes with the skeleton, various cloaks, a book, and we're working on an app that can be interactive for kids. Even though we want it to be screen time, we know that kids are very much into social media and like to post things. So we're hoping to get something together that works with the older part of the 3 through 13. The limited release that I'm setting up or designing to set up would create more of a limited collector release. Hoping to release 5,000 units in year 1 this year. Much like the Cabbage Patch of 1983, it will come with a adoption contract, and each Grim figure will have a serial number on it. Grim is currently going to be sold for $34.95 with the combination. Cabbage Patch sold for $21 back in 1983, which current value that would be $58. So we're keeping in comparison to Elf on the Shelf and back in the Cabbage Patch days. Projected revenues of 2025 are $175,000 in revenue. With the limited release that we're going to do in 2026, we're going to double that, and hopefully 2027 quadruple that and reach upwards of $1 million revenue. I'm attending the New York International Toy Fair Festival in 2026. I'm already registered and I'm already on one of the new up-and-coming toy lists, and hopefully get some sort of licensing through that. The book that's written with Grimm comes with a story that talks about strength through diversity and courage through fear. And there's a children's version of the book, and then there's an adult version of the book that talks about Grimm's backstory. It also teaches anatomy, as we see that there is a full skeletal, and it teaches motor skills so that children can actually be hands-on and learn how to place Grimm throughout the house, unlike the elf on the shelf where the parents are under the pressure to place the toy throughout. It's already CPSC compliant with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. There's no swallowing parts. There's no parts too small, but it is aged 3 to 13. It's safe and it's appropriate even upwards of children who are 13 years old. I'm looking specifically now for
Okay, so Grimm on the rim. What is the rim? How did you come up with that?
anywhere
concept?
that you can place him would be a rim. So basically it rhymes with the word Grimm, so that's his name, and then you could place it anywhere, much like you would do an elf on the shelf.
Okay. And then why did you pick the skeleton versus another Halloween character?
Because historically, looking through Halloween marketing, you got your Jack Skeleton. Pumpkins, they're universal, but it's just, a pumpkin. So because you can't really create a character out of a pumpkin, so I thought a skeleton. And because he has a backstory where he was actually human at one point, so the skeleton was the safest bet.
Elf on the Shelf obviously is very popular.
Yes.
How do you plan on making this as popular and getting the word out so families will be able to enjoy this new toy?
So currently I have 20 models that I've placed with some of the largest mommy bloggers on the internet. My marketing, I don't have a marketing team, but I have a marketing professional who's working with me to create videos so that we can then send it out to all the top Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, any kind of social media. We've got a list of about 1,500 of the top producing Halloween and mommy bloggers and mommy posters. And of the 1,500 that we've sent out, I've got 760 replies that they're ready to take the product and create content with it.
Two quick question. You mentioned on there that you were patent pending. Where are you in that process?
I am completely, I'm waiting for the actual final paperwork. I have my patent currently right here. They just had a few more questions regarding it. They had to do their patent search on it. And
You got an office action. You have
Yes.
a non-final office
Yes.
action that you're currently needing to respond to. And then how do you intend to market it? Or do you want to sell this yourself or do you want to sell the idea to
So the first 5,000, we're going to do it the way that we've set it up with content creators. And I'm hoping to create the same type of frenzy that the Cabbage Patch had back in '83 with a limited production, serial numbers, adoption contracts, so that by the time I release it in 2026, I would like to get a licensing agreement. And that's what my goal is in 2026 to go to the Toy Fair. But currently for this year's production, it's 5,000 is limited to just mostly local. By local, I mean United States.
And so I have a couple of comments, but let me start with one. Because when you mentioned that the skeleton is more universal for Halloween, but the pumpkin is more autumn, but the jack-o'-lantern, that could have different faces, and that could be Jack on a shack. But you said educational. You said educational. I'm not sure how educational, but I said.
Thank you.
Okay. I kind of like the concept of that. I know with my kids and Elf on the Shelf, that was always, it is. My youngest daughter would, in the morning, we don't have any young kids in here, do we? if I forgot to move it, she would come out of her room and go, "Mommy," and I'd be like, mom fail. So thank you for that. That's awesome. We do want to encourage you guys, if you can, to please use the microphone, because otherwise your audio is not going to show up on our video. So we just wouldn't be able to use it for anything, or it just won't be usable. So I understand the microphone is a little bit weird, but it's going to help. And if you win, you're most likely going to need to use the microphone when you go to the county finale. So get used to it now. So next we have MetaSkill coming up. There she is.
I can't believe I've been in this role for a year already. I agree. I feel like I just joined yesterday. I've learned so much. We all put in a lot of work. We definitely deserve a relaxing weekend.
Speaking of weekends, we have a 4-day weekend coming up.
Do you have plans? I'll probably relax with a good book.
Sorry about the technical issues.
Or economic development, not IT. Well stated. We're usually surprised when it does work.
I can't believe I've been in this role for a year already. I agree. I feel like I just joined yesterday. I've learned so much. We all put in a lot of work. We definitely deserve a relaxing weekend.
Speaking of weekends, we have a 4-day weekend coming up.
Do you have plans? I'll probably relax with a good book.
I'm going to spend it outdoors, either at the beach or hiking.
I plan to catch up on sleep. Sounds like fun. I will see you all next week.
Give me a thumbs up if you would love to experience a game or training like that. Awesome. So what you just saw is called a 3D role-playing game, or 3D RPG. My name is Jocelyn Tan, and I have spent years working with companies like ExxonMobil and Veterans Affairs, and they have expressed interest in 3D RPGs, but they find that it is very costly and time-consuming to build these simulations. For example, it costs over $1 million for hiring 10 developers annually. Development also requires the specialized skills of extended reality personnel. With my product called MetaSkill, we are reducing the development time and cost to develop these simulations by 10 times. And let me show you how. We have built MetaSkill with 3 core functions. Number 1, we have an easy-to-use, no-code, and AI-based interface. We also have the ability to develop 3D characters easily. And third, you're able to be compatible with 3D hardware and game engines. Specifically, you're able to build storylines and dialogues through our no-code engine and drag-and-drop capabilities on the tool. You're also able to create 3D characters using our library of free character assets, and we're able to deploy the simulations in 3D and be compatible with 3D hardware. The demand for no-code tools is rapidly growing. In fact, the US spent over $7 billion in 2023 on no-code tools, and we plan to capture $1 billion of the market by targeting a portion of the over 55,000 organizations that are currently developing RPGs and games, such as Sony and Activision. We are selling our product at $12,000 per user license, and we will capture a minimum of $120,000 in estimated annual revenue per company. Our tool is the best for creating 3D RPGs because we offer not only a 3D role-playing interface, but we also are compatible with 3D hardware and have an AI-based system. Our team is comprised of highly skilled technology leaders that have had many decades working in industry. I myself have led multi-million-dollar projects at Silicon Valley tech firms. My CTO and business leads have led projects at organizations like MIT, Bank of America, and Blackfire. We have built a strong network of customers and partners who love the 3D RPGs that we have built using MetaSkill. Companies like Qualcomm, Lenovo, and Lead for Life. Our team and technology have been featured by the press, and we are also part of the Temecula Valley Entrepreneurs Exchange. We are currently raising $750,000 to cover our marketing and operational costs. We currently have the MVP, and we hope to use the capital to fully build out the product to our over 24 waitlisted customers. For example, Cal State Fullerton and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And we hope to grow our revenue to over $1 million by next year, and while we're raising our next round of funding. Thank you. My name is Jocelyn Tan, and this is MetaSkill.
So tell me about your target market.
Yeah, our target market is organizations that are producing RPGs and games. For example, game studios. There are over 55,000 game studios actually out there, and they are currently developing these types of content.
And so your product is not ready to launch yet, but on its way, right? When do you foresee being ready to launch and have your first customers?
Yeah, so we have an MVP right now, and it's in the hands of over 24 waitlisted customers. We plan to release the full product by the end of the year, especially when we're able to find the funding. We're able to really accelerate that process. Does that answer your question?
What advantage does your startup have over your competitors?
Yeah, so we actually have the no-code interface, which some of our competitors have, but the most important feature is that we're able to deploy in 3D using the XR hardware. We also have the AI-powered system, which is, for example, giving the user guidelines on how to develop storylines quickly, and reducing that time to market for the deployment of the application by 10 times.
So your graphic characters, it almost seems like 80-ish type of graphics. Is that going to get better, or are you going to, how is that? Because it seemed a little, I don't know, to me it just felt like I was watching an old Atari thing, so.
Yeah, thanks for the honesty. Yeah, so essentially after we get the funding, we aim to improve the simulations, improve the characters. There's actually a library of free assets that we have, so the ones that you saw there are just, a portion of the library, but we also have a library of much more updated characters that you can leverage.
What is your marketing strategy, and how do you go about getting to that marketplace?
Yeah, so our marketing strategy, we have 3 points. We have, we're going to be doing in and outbound marketing. We're going to be using email campaigns. We're also relying heavily on partnerships and resellers, so our partners can help introduce us to their clientele, going to conferences where we see these studios, and obviously using social media to get thought leadership out.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm being told by our tech team for the presenters if you can stay sort of in the camera so that we can get video of you. So around or behind the podium would be best. And next we have MyKitchen coming up. Come on down. There you go. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity today. This is actually something that I've been looking for But my idea is called MyKitchen. Sorry, I improved my PowerPoint, but I wasn't able to upload it. It's called Welcome to My Kitchen. Come in and have a seat at the table. I don't know about any of you, but I ran into an issue in terms of income when I became unemployed. I have a bachelor's degree. I went to school. I was working as a case manager, and I was let go, and then nobody would call me back. I even applied at fast food places everywhere, and I wasn't able to find employment. So I decided, I'm just going to go start my own business. And what I concentrated on was the fact that my family loves to cook. I have my mother, my uncle, who have worked in all types of food restaurants and little pop-ups and everything like that. My mother's a baker. She cooks. She's a jack of all trades in the kitchen. My uncle has worked in restaurants for over 30 years, so he knows how the business is run. Right now, we have started our own little tamale business, but then I started thinking about all of the other people that I see around our community who love to cook, and they would love to offer you a plate of their own food, right? Their comfort food, and I'm pretty sure all of you would love it. But the only thing that's missing is a place for them to go to be able to get help and to be able to grow their business idea. What I found was that there is there's an example down in Carlsbad. It's called the Windmill Food Hall. And it's kind of a one-stop shop place for everything food. They give food vendors opportunities to come into their commercial kitchen, and do everything legal without, they have their food handlers card, the facilities are certified and everything. And all you really have to do is come and, bring your food and make it and offer it to the public. And that's kind of an idea that I had for maybe Murrieta, Temecula. It's basically a big food court. And I don't know if you guys keep up with, shows on TV. People love food, and they love finding those one places where they can go and they can try a little bit of everything. And so the concept that I came up with, well, it's kind of similar to the food hall, is we provide the building, the kitchens that are up to code. They've got all the regulations met. All they need to come in with is their food handler's card and their skills. And we pretty much offer the rest. Kind of like a gym, you come, you pay a subscription, you come, you use the facilities, you do what you need to do, and then you go home. They can come, they can borrow a kitchen, they can come, they can, borrow a kitchen or a stall where they can sell their food at the food court. And I think that that's something that we can offer to not only our local cities, but everyone in the county. The Windmill Food Hall is in Carlsbad. The only other closest type of business is in Riverside, Rancho Cucamonga. They're pretty far away. So, and in my mind, I've been around Winchester, Temecula, all of the cities here in the area, and I see a lot of food vendors who just need that help to go to the next step, right? They might have their food handler's card, but they don't know anything about business. And so the concept of MyKitchen is come here and we will help you move on up. If you're a food vendor already, then we'll help you start with the pop-up or, just something simple. And then afterwards, if you have already got a pop-up, you have your clientele, then we'll help you with the next step, which is doing all of the business side of, the food industry. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. And so here's a little bit of how my idea is going to work. We're just going to create a space where we can run a food court type activity. We can even put it in an area where we can have carnivals there. I mean, that is the one place where everyone in Riverside County can come, and you want to have an event, you want to have a carnival, you can have it there. It'll be a food court, vendors. You won't have to run into any issues with, the licenses, anything required outside of a regular, sorry. Thank you.
Oh, stay there. We got questions.
Sorry.
Nice move.
Sorry.
So, what you're basically developing is a sola salons of restaurants.
Yes.
Okay.
But it would be, imagine the promenade food court, right? You see the stalls, but behind the scenes will be the kitchens, will be the your own little area where you're going to sell the food. So yeah, pretty much like that. But our aim is to churn out restaurateurs in the long run.
So you envision that they're not going to stay there eternally. They're just going to be there for a short time.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, but this would be a pretty capital heavy project. I mean, you're going to have to put out a lot of money to create this environment necessary to do that.
Well, and that's where the community comes in. We have a lot of networking with individuals out in the community who already have a lot of experience in the things that we need. And my main goal is to drive our local economy. Use local vendors, use local, construction people, use everything local as much as we can. And that way our local economy grows and, just expands from there, hopefully.
So do you envision building something or?
No, just take a warehouse and fit it to what we need. I don't want to create more costs. I don't want to create more waste. I want to take something that's already there and we can just improve it and use it.
What is your projected budget for this?
I would turn to the people of the city of Temecula, the business area there. I'm not, if I were to expand on it myself, I would look for low cost everything, try to minimize costs as much as possible, but also make sure that the product in the end is useful and it's something self-sustaining and something that, isn't gonna crumble in 1 or 2 years.
Do you have a business plan?
I have a rough business plan. I'm not a business person. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I can get stuff started, and with the help of other people, and I'm pretty sure that we can come up with a really good business plan.
So you don't have a full-blown business plan, but how do you see getting to the stage of and maintaining profitability?
So, like I said, the business, MyKitchen itself would be like a subscription type place, like a gym. You pay a monthly fee, however often you're going to use the commercial kitchens, whatever it is, a packaging area, if you need a packaging area. It's basically kind of like a small little manufacturing. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. And as I call up, I don't want to butcher this, NeyroblastGX, am I saying that right? Come on up. And I wanted to bring to your attention that our judges are not just elected officials, but wait, there's more. They all own businesses. And so I just wanted to point that out. Joseph owns a video production and animation company. Ben Diedrich has a law firm, and specifically business law, trademarking and patents, correct? Cindy Warren has creative media solutions, and Jags Gives Back. And Stu has Stu's barbershops that you see all over the valley. So their questions are in very, very real time what they are dealing with too as business owners. So I just wanted to point that out too, that they're not just an elected official pretty face there, but they've got real life business experience, which we very much appreciate. So thank you, and we'll turn it over to you.
Hello everybody, good evening, and I am Ainun Begum. I am CEO and founder of NeyroblastGX, and I founded this company in 2020. So our mission was to find out the next generation diagnostic and therapy. What is that? that we wanted to know root cause of the many fatal diseases, like, brain fog, chronic inflammation. This is the root cause. Now everything is the silent killer is the inflammation. So we wanted to find out this inflammation connected with the heart disease, kidney, and everything, and how we can cure this out. And for that, we developed the bioimmune cure to improve the immunity and the chronic inflammation. That is what our goal. So here come the opportunities. So let's see that. This is the inflammation is the silent killer. If you look at the Forbes, Fortune, all writing that this is the silent killer, you see all the scientific publication, this is the silent killer, and all the root cause of the diseases. And 35% of the US adults actually experience systematic inflammation. And from that, 50% is healthy individual. And also from that 18 million people suffering from long COVID. So while there is no cure exists, so while there is a lot of supplements, but here is all the misconception. If you go to now to the Costco, you'll be see so many turmeric products. But do you know how to be dissolved? No. Most of the people Instagram and everywhere they make the ginger shot. There's nothing dissolved. It needs to be dissolved in the fat. Otherwise, it's not working. So that's our idea. Look at that. You taking with the water, this turmeric, all precipitate. So that's the idea we came with the bioimmune cure. So bioimmune cure is what is this? Is the lipid-soluble compounds which compared with the anti-inflammatory agents and which formulated with the stable, biodegradable, FDA-approved biomaterials to make available. And this is improved digestions and absorption, and which actually accelerate the immune signaling. Cell can talk, and then improve the immune cell proliferation and strength boost immunity. Here you can see the mechanism. So what it does, we are developed from the biodegradable materials which actually produce some of the important metabolites, which suppress that all the pro-inflammatory cytokines, and then which ultimately help you to boosting immunity and cure the chronic inflammation. And so here is the interesting thing. Let's talk about science, what we've done. We already developed the nanoparticle, which less than 500 nanometer, which is highly bioavailable. And the way we make specific dose and specific concentration, we make them bioavailable and easy to digest and low dose work. And we find out low doses is like bring down all the pro-inflammatory cytokines, and it's safe and non-toxic. And here is our uniqueness. What is it? It is, I'm so sorry. So here is the uniqueness. It is edible, bioavailable edible cookies and gummies. It is FDA approvable biomaterial, is bioavailable, low cost and safe, and it is not toxic. And look at that, this cookie agrees with you too. So now competitive metrics is like where a lot of company does, but they don't have the information that's really bioavailability and bioefficacious. And then here the growth rate is $1 billion market, and where our targeted market 20 billions were dietary supplements. And here revenue model, you can see that where is the mostly about the product sale and licensing. And here our seed fund come from DoD, DARPA, and here is our roadmap, which 2034 we wanted to achieve. And here is our profit and loss, and here is our teams, and that's it. And now questions.
Alrighty, so if I saw correctly, in 2020 you established the business?
Yes, that's correct.
So then how quickly has the company been growing?
Company been growing pretty good. since we were seed funded with the Department of Defense, National Science Foundation, and DARPA. So we have the basic research and development we done for this bioavailable, bioimmune cure. And we pretty much done our first phase research and development. And already we are submitting the patent. And we just now need to make a small batch with the quality, all those inspection, so we can get the FDA approval. So that's pretty much we are targeting. So besides this, we have some other product we do have, stem cell related product, and which we already in the, we are giving service, and as well as we are selling some stuff.
This product is not available yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
And how will you keep competitors out of your space?
Yeah, that's the very interesting question. So here's the question. You can see natural waste, a lot of companies making those gum. But problem is, if you look at what is the ingredients, you can find, but what is the bioavailability and bioefficacious, how it is absorbed and how is efficient for utilization, nothing information. And people have so much product in the nowadays. People come to me and always ask it, why your product so much out there, what to take? So that is something we make the combo, bioavailable combo that people can easily get it and utilization. That is really the unique and nobody have it.
Are you planning to market this in stores, online, through, what is your marketing strategy, and how do people know this is safe? What is your strategy for reassuring the consumers that this is a safe product?
Absolutely. Safe part will be make sure 100% because we'll be have our data, and data will be present in the website. And all the clarity can be there. And we know how to do research and development. That is, we are good at it. I did UCLA postdoctorate. My work was the drug development work. So we know how to make that more clear. And that can be online, we can be sell, and we can be also Costco and many other marketing place. We could be door-to-door sell too.
So real quick, this is something that's going to take a lot of educating the public about.
Absolutely.
That's going to be your challenge, is trying to get people convinced that this is really a necessary product for them.
Mm-hmm.
You could explain it all, as far as inflammation is concerned, and we got to stop, so.
Yes, so thank you. That's actually a nice thing. And I think I already started to talk in Instagram, so I hope we can do that. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, we're going to Plastics Decoded.
Just click the top button to advance. Hi everyone, my name is Robert. I am the co-inventor of the carbon capture system and the co-founder of Plastics Decoded. Our mission is to solve the plastic waste crisis. Every year, the world produces about 500 million tons of plastic waste. That's more than 1 million tons every day, and only about 7% is recycled. This is actually a growing public health crisis that's kind of flying under the radar, but I don't have time to get into that. About half is landfilled. Another quarter is incinerated. This is worldwide averages. And a full 20% ends up in the environment as uncollected litter, which we think is insane because plastic is literally made of oil. Which begs the question, if it's made of oil, why can't we at least reclaim the oil that it's made of to keep it out of the environment? And the answer is that we have been at a limited scale for decades using a process called pyrolysis. Has some issues, one of which is like recycling, it requires sorting. Mixed plastics and sorting are the common thread in the problems with plastics. Sorting is expensive, requires manual labor or advanced technology. So our goal here is to get around the sorting requirement. Our solution to this is the carbon capture system, which is a radical rethinking of pyrolysis, where traditional pyrolysis puts things in a metal drum and heats it from the outside. We put plastics on a fluidized bed of molten salt. that goes to progressively hotter zones. Molten salt has some really interesting properties, but the way they combine to form a complete solution in our application is really interesting. First, it's a liquid. It's denser than plastic and oil, but less dense than contaminants like glass and dirt, so those sink while the oil flows. Secondly, it's non-reactive, so we can add additives to the salt, which allow us to process things like PVC, which is currently non-processable using any existing technology. And it's extremely thermally efficient, which is why it's normally seen in nuclear and solar power plants like Crescent Dunes. It's also, studies on pyrolysis show that it's about, or direct heat in pyrolysis is about 10 times more efficient than indirect heat, which is the drum method, which is the industry standard. So that's a really big deal because combined with the thermal content of plastic, it means our process is actually net energy positive. So we require very little energy during the process, really only for process startup. Because there is no technology to valorize mixed plastics, it's a very large market. If we only look at the plastic waste that goes to landfill or is otherwise lost as litter, we've got about 350 million tons a year, and about 4.5 barrels a ton, which is the industry average for pyrolysis. We're looking at about 1.6 billion barrels a year, which, if that's a country, we're number 10 between Brazil and Kuwait in terms of annual production. If we look at Riverside County only, we're producing about 1.2 million barrels a year on about 300,000 tons of plastic waste a year in Riverside County. Our next steps, well, first in July of last year, we received our patent for the process, which is an ongoing patent. We're currently working with USPTO to add an additional set of claims that will comprise the process portion of that. In January, we submitted a grant application to the National Science Foundation to do testing at Sandia National Labs. They have a molten salt research facility, and we'll be gathering some really useful information there to reduce our commercialization and prototype risk, which comes after that. We build our prototype, and then we're planning to launch a pilot facility, hopefully in partnership with Riverside County next year. My ask for the judges today is help us connect with plastic recyclers and other stakeholders in Riverside County. We're also interested in strategic partnerships and support us in moving on to the county finals. Any prize money we win would be useful in helping us hot start our SBIR research project. And before I go, I wanted to introduce you to our founder, Michael Barkenhagen. He actually passed away this weekend. Thanks. He was a brilliant chemical engineer, retired US Navy, and my father-in-law. And I know he would have been here today because he's been singularly focused. His family would even say obsessed with solving this problem for 5 years. So this is the first time it's out in public, and I'm really happy to be presenting it. And I'll do my best to answer any questions.
Well, I find it kind of ironic that it seems like every restaurant I go to have switched from paper cups to plastic cups. Here we had this big movement away from plastic. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden, all the big franchises like McDonald's and Burger King, all plastic cups again.
Yeah.
So this is brilliant. I mean, to me, it's a great idea, and it's something that's long overdue. And so basically the salt itself is what dissolves the
well, it's
separates out.
It's molten at high temperatures and progressively hotter temperature zones. So it's breaking down the plastic thermally without oxygen, which means there's no combustion or burning. Essentially, the salt is a more efficient heat conductor than, say, a metal drum, in which is how normal pyrolysis would work.
I'm going to go back to the marketing aspects of this. How would you market this so that a community would want to have this in their community? Because, you know, nobody wants anything recycling in their community. How are you going to get the Nimbus off your back?
Right. So as far as marketing, this is definitely a B2B and B2 government thing. So it's going to be direct approaches with governments and waste recyclers. And I think as this crisis comes to a head, I do think it's going to become a bigger environmental problem than CO2 in the near future, because we're just learning about health hazards that I think public sentiment will shift towards acceptance of a solution.
Are you able to make the process work as of today, or is there still more ongoing research needed to be able to actually?
It's kind of both, because I mean pyrolysis has been used for decades,
Sure.
and there are facilities around the world that do this. But our process and our goal is to be able to do it with multiple types of plastic at the same time. That's really the roadblock.
Right. So that's still not even for you yet at this stage?
Right. We have the patent, and we want to do that research at Sandia before we build a prototype, so that we can fine-tune some of the numbers to reduce risk on the prototype.
And what are your issued claims covered? You said that you're working on a divisional for the process claims.
Yeah, it's a system, basically.
So the system is what's covered in your initial issued patent.
Yeah.
All right, and you're in Wildomar, and we're home of the Wildomar Beautification Volunteers, so I love that you're attacking the trash out there. But how do you, because this seems like more than just a local, they could be statewide, nationwide, worldwide.
The goal is global.
Yeah, so how do you get around, work with or through government regulations?
Yeah, especially in California, that's a tough one. And one of the advantages of our system is with the efficiency of molten salt, additives we're able to use, it's much cleaner than traditional pyrolysis. So we're hoping to be able to sell it as, thank you.
All right, next we are going to have TX Genetic, ready to go.
Okay, just making sure I understand how to work the technology. First of all, my thanks to everyone who worked so hard to make this event a success, the people in the city of Wildomar, and I know people from Murrieta, Temecula, all helped. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful afternoon. My name is Helen Harrison. Many of you have probably heard of long COVID. Long COVID is a well-known example of a type of disease called a chronic multi-system illness. My husband, Bob, developed a similar chronic multi-system illness called chronic fatigue syndrome, also known as myalgic encephalomyelitis. Together, these are referred to as MECFS. But MECFS is a degenerative and debilitating condition experienced by about 2.5 million people in the US and 22.5 million people worldwide. These are the defining symptoms, but individuals can have hundreds more. At the worst of my husband's condition, he had 280 symptoms. There is no laboratory test to diagnose it. There's no known genetic profile causing it. In 2008, my husband's lifelong low stamina became chronic fatigue. He'd run out of energy after simple tasks. He puffed from shortness of breath. His blood pressure would drop suddenly. He became nauseous and dizzy after eating. In the next decade, his symptoms increased from about a dozen to nearly 300. A decade of appointments with 14 different specialists gave us no answers. We didn't have time to wait for the medical establishment to figure it out. We started TX Genetic Research in 2017 to uncover a genetic basis for his condition and to find nutrients that could improve his life. Friends knew other people who had energy deficiency problems. Eventually, 10 people participated in our case study research. We obtained whole exome sequencing genetic tests for all participants. With the help of Murrieta Genomics, we acquired genetic variant analysis software, and we investigated the benefits of hundreds of nutrients. Our efforts were successful. I uncovered a genetic basis for MECFS. This is a breakthrough in the study of this condition. No other researchers have identified such a profile, and 7 of the 10 participants tried our nutrient recommendations. All of them were helped. We anticipate provisional patent filing for this profile in the very near future. I'm working on the last 3 pages of the patent now. It's now time to help many others. Severely affected ME/CFS patients have difficulty leaving their homes. We've made arrangements with Charmony Foundation, directed by Dr. Agazi Sonia, to design and employ the country's first ME/CFS in-home health service program. This program will authenticate the accuracy of the genetic testing for diagnosis and the dietary and nutritional intervention for better health and wellness. After the provisional patent is filed, publication of our initial case study is essential to securing the intellectual property and promoting academic interest in our efforts. We have the help of Dr. Jonathan Lakey, Professor Emeritus at UC Irvine, and University of Alabama Associate Professor Dr. Krista Kazaza. They've agreed to assist with the preparation of the research manuscripts for publication. It's been a busy 5 years for TX genetic research, and 2025 promises to be even more eventful. Securing our intellectual property, arranging food and nutrient formula production, developing our in-home service program, cultivating strategic partnerships for funding, and gaining more media exposure so we can extend our products and services to those who truly need it. Selecting TX genetic research today will help us cover our patent and publication costs. We understand the problems of people with ME/CFS. We know what is wrong, and we have a plan to help. Our discoveries are scientifically based and may extend to other chronic multi-system illnesses. Long COVID is experienced by 20 million people in the US and 400 million people worldwide. Long COVID and ME/CFS have 24 symptoms in common. I know where to look on the genome to verify if these diseases have a common genetic cause. If they do, this would expand our market significantly. The value of assisting millions of people is immeasurable, and we invite you to be a part of our mission. Thank you.
All righty, so what advantages do TX Genetics have over its competitors? Are there competitors?
There are no competitors in the sense that right now, in terms of the genetic research, different research groups or individuals are finding 1 or 2 bits of particular genetic variants that could be contributing. And there are only 3 clinics in the country, one of the Mayo clinics, a clinic in the Midwest, and at Stanford. And the main approach right now is finding appropriate anti-inflammatories. So they know it has an inflammatory component. There is not a lot really known about the profile or the profile that I've uncovered. And so no other research or clinic can talk in the terms that I am, in terms of how we're going to authenticate through a verification study, the methodology you developed in our initial case study, and then be able to have a diagnostic procedure and an in-home treatment program. Nobody else is even at that level of conversation.
What's been the source of your funding so far? And you mentioned that you're close to filing your provisional patent application. I'm assuming you're preparing it yourself. Yeah. Have you gone through the patenting process before?
Right now we have a patent attorney. His name is Dean Stathakis in Orange County. Has his PhD in molecular biologics and genetics, so he very much understands what it is that we're trying to do. And so I'm doing the first draft because up here, and so he then will shape it for actual application. Absolutely. I know nothing about writing patents, right?
Most people don't.
That's right.
What are your next steps from this point on? You've done your case study. Where do you go from here to launch? Where do you go from this point on?
The Patent Office requires us to do a verification study. And so that is why we are anticipating working with Charmony Foundation to create the in-home program. Charmony Foundation is a licensed Medicaid provider. We're going to see how well we can do with the Medicaid at this point. And so then we'll be able to develop the program, the training materials. Then we will be able to do the verification of the genetic testing that is, sustained in another population of individuals. When you go to then, you can also then introduce this as a diagnostic procedure and a treatment procedure once what you're proposing has been medically authenticated, and that's the purpose of the verification study. So the Patent Office gives us 1 year to do that verification study, and at that point we can roll out this treatment protocol.
Forget it.
I know it's hard to not keep asking questions. I really appreciate everyone staying on schedule. We are ahead of schedule. I told Patrick, don't say that out loud, because I know Murphy's Law gets me every time. But last, but certainly not least, we have VisaNow AI.
Yeah, I didn't know there will be an alphabetical order, and that will be the last one. But that's a good thing. Probably you'll remember me. Yeah, I'm Daniel Temecula, CEO and founder of VisaNow AI. We help with immigration documents to immigrants. There are 30 million visa and green card applications were filed in the US last year. It's a huge market. I'm an immigrant. I came from Kazakhstan. My wife came from Ukraine about 4 years ago, and we hired an attorney to make our green card. So she took $15,000 and failed my case after 1.5 years. Then I hired another attorney. He took 10 grand and disappeared. Like he stopped to answer his phone. So I filed a claim to the California bar. So after 3 years and after $25,000, I knew everything about my case, and I filed myself the case last year, and after 4 months, we got our green cards finally. Yeah, thank you. And I thought, why the immigration is so frustrating, so hard, so constant, so stressful? I almost got divorced because of this process. Yeah, and I realized that it shouldn't be so. So I created VisaNow. We help immigrants with their immigration documents and connect them with licensed immigration attorneys. This is my team, me and my co-founder, Ken Berland. I'm an entrepreneur. I sold 2 companies. I have several patents under my belt. I'm guru in sales and marketing, and my partner is guru in tech. He was senior leading engineer in Amazon for over 7 years. He led Amazon UI, Amazon Playback, more than 25 years of engineering experience, and he's a licensed California attorney. So he helped us to stay on track, to be in the legal way. And we have a good advisory board, lawyers and specialists in AI. We created prototype in December, just 3.5 months ago, and we've got our first $1,000 right on the Christmas night. So in January, we made already $7,000, and in March, we made $30,000. It's just with a prototype. It's not a product yet, so people are so desperate, they are paying us. And we want to build the real product, the automated product, which will give us $200,000 a month by this December. This is the split of 30 million applications that I referred in the very beginning. So there are different visa categories in the US, family-based, employment-based, etc. But we are going beyond visas. We help immigrants with all their struggles, because this is not ending with getting a green card or visa. People coming to the US, then they need to get social, driver license, find a house. They don't give a house without credit score. What is credit score? How to get a banking card without a house? How to find a school? What's healthcare system? Insurance, law system, taxes, everything. So we help immigrants with all these struggles. Think of it in this way: when you come to a new company, there is an onboarding to the company. But who onboards to the US? We will. And we attack $1.6 trillion market. So it's only about $80 billion, $60 billion immigration market, but then we work with real estate, with legal, with other immigration hustles. So it's a huge market. And it's not only the US, obviously. So after the US, we'll go to Germany and other countries. Why we're better than competitors? Because, well, we attack the traditional law firms, but we provide not just AI service for preparation documents, but we connect immigrants with the attorneys. So think of it as an Airbnb for immigrants and attorneys. Right now we work like prepare documents and give it to the licensed attorney. People can find an attorney. We charge $1,000 right now, and the majority goes to the lawyer, like $6,000. But once we create the product, the majority will go to us because we do most of the work. We help people to save their money, obviously, like $10,000, and we rely on their community. We build our community, our immigration community, and this is our go-to-market strategy. Yeah. Thank you very much. My last word about this presentation, we are raising $1 million. And if you want to book a meeting with me, just scan the QR code. Thank you.
So how do you plan to do the marketing? How do you plan to get it out there to the immigrant community?
Yes, that's a good question. We are already going into these communities. There are different communities, Ukrainian communities, Chinese communities, Indian, and we help them to solve their pain. We know their pain and we help them to solve it. And we are organizing events, like online and offline events, to gather the community and discuss everything. We make online and offline webinars and Q&A sessions. We invite licensed attorneys. They help to answer their questions. And we just gather together. So the most important thing about the marketing in such a project as ours, and you probably know this, that people are not getting an attorney via a Facebook ad. They ask for a recommendation. So this is how people are usually looking for a lawyer, or especially for an immigration lawyer. So we are basing our marketing strategy on the recommendations and reviews. And we already have, as I mentioned, we had clients in January, and every single client who joined us in January have recommended us at least one more client in March. So this is how we're going to work to expand it finally.
I guess these are immigrants that have been here for a long period of time that have kind of like fallen through the cracks is what I'm kind of figuring out here, right? How do you verify everything that they need before you start your journey? How do you verify what they need and how they're going to get it?
That's a good question. Well, we speak to them and we ask them. For example, yesterday I spoke to one of our attorneys who's on our marketplace, and I asked her very same question: what do you need? And she said, well, for EB2 visa, it's a national interest waiver visa for people who is going to make businesses in the United States. We need a business plan. So she asked me, Daniel, could you make a business plan for this EB2 national interest waiver visa? I said, not yet, but we will figure it out. And now we've already found, we've already started to train our AI model. We found people who can provide us samples of business plans for this specific visa and to train our AI model on their real cases. So we ask our people, and that's how we figure out what they need.
Great. You mentioned quickly on one of your slides that right now the current split is roughly about 1,000 to you, 6,000 to the attorney, and that you hope to flip that at some point in the future. Is that a one-time fee or a monthly ongoing fee, or how does that work? And what do you see yourself making versus the attorney?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So at this time, we would like to ask the 4 judges to go towards the back. I think maybe Gina Gonzalez is going to take you back there. Okay. Follow Gina to the back where you guys are going to tally your scores up.
Okay.
So we're going to start with third place goes to FollowInq. And second place goes to Plastics Decoded. Very good. And first place, can we get a drum roll, please? Goes to MetaSkill. Woo! Congratulations, coming up and get your check.
Is that one clean?
Good. No. We're here to the toilet seat. I do want to thank all of our presenters today. You guys did an awesome job. It is not an easy task to get up in front of people and talk about your dream and your business ideas. So I really appreciate everyone who came out to do that. So once again, please grab some more food. Do not leave me with any food here. We'll take some pictures up here, and we will look forward to seeing you at the finale on April 30th in Riverside.